Hi, I'm Dave with Hunt'n Junkies. Today we're going to be going in the back in a little area I got set up, probably about 10 acres that I hunt. It's a doe bedding area with a couple thickets and a really good travel corridor. We're going to move in some tree stand sets around. We're going to be checking out a trail cam and looking for some basic sign. Please come along and join us. Thank you. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call this improvising. My cameraman never showed up, so we're going to go back to a little set that I have. It's behind the house. It's about 10 to 15 acres. And we're going to do some tree stand sets, change them around, check a trail cam, and see what kind of activity we got back there. This cool little pond we got on the property, it's got some really big catfish in it. Good place to do some bow fishing. Yeah, this is the one fun thing about actually filming yourself. No help. You get to lug all the gear, saw, drill, camera. If anybody thinks production is easy, film production, it's not. And look what we got here in the mud. And looky what we got in the mud. We have some pretty good sign. Of course, these are just doe tracks, but that's okay, because that's where I'm going, is to a pretty big little travel corridor. And it's a really big doe bedding area that I hunt back here. Alright, we're right up here. We're getting ready to walk into the woods. My little entrance is right here next to this little white shed. This is just a little flat bottom that's been bulldozed out. And as I come up here on this ridge, we've seen a pretty good sight. If I can zoom in on this bad boy. Right here is a really good buck print. And what's really cool is right next to it is a little small fawn print. So we got some pretty good activity back here. Here, as I'm getting ready to walk in the woods, I see another buck print. You can see the distinguishing marks of a buck. That's a real good sign. Alright, we're going to be walking in here now. And it's pretty thick. Usually what I do closer to the season is I come back here with a rake and I rake this trail completely out so it's silent. That way I can sneak all the way into my tree stand and not be heard. Alright, we're going to go down to my first set in this tree. I'm going to drop the tree stands and the ladder. I'm going to move them to another tree. This tree right here currently sits behind a cypress tree that my daughter and I sat in during last year's bow season. And I had tree stands set up next to me so she could sit next to me and watch. Several years back, this tree right here that's down on the ground, as you can see the damage and how rotten it is, it had been struck by lightning. It had been leaning up against this tree right here, was very solid. Well, I decided to have the bright idea, which at this point doesn't seem like a bright idea. I put a tree stand up on that tree there, and I was screwing in some 2x4s for leg holds. I'm up the tree with my cordless drill, and it's funny how whitetail are so curious. I had a mama doe walk out probably about 15 yards from me when she heard the whine of my drill, wanting to know what I was doing. This whole area over here that I'm panning through right now is a big thicket, a big doe bedding area. And that's what I was doing. I was hanging a tree stand set to overlook this area. Looking at the tree now, I'm glad I didn't leave my tree stand in that tree, because this right here would definitely have taken me out. Looking up this way is a actual game trail walking up a ridge. And panning this way, walking down the ridge, there's a trail. Alright, if you can see that big tree right there, that is exactly where I'm going to hang two tree stands. One for myself and one for my daughter so she can film. And the reason why I'm picking that one there is it's about 25 yards from the top of the ridge. There's active trails all up and down that ridge. The doe bedding area is to the other side of it. And coming back down this ridge where I'm at, it goes down into another thicket. And there are active trails all through here. So for filming purposes, and to enhance the hunt with my daughter, we're changing it to that tree right there. Alright y'all, see that tree right there? That's the tree that's going to house my tree stands. I'm going to put two tree stands in, one for me and my daughter so she can film. I'm picking that tree right there because it's about 25 yards from the top of this ridge. There's an active trail, doe bedding area on the other side. There are trails all around my tree right there. So for video purposes, filming purposes, we're going to pick that tree right there. This is a nice little hollow right here. Nice little bowl that goes down a hill. And it opens up into another thicket down there on the bottom. It might be kind of hard to see in this video right here. There's a nice little beaten down path. And coming up to this little darkened out area, this is actually an area where I put a 50-pound bag of mineral salt in a couple years ago. Took them a little while, but they're figuring out where it's at. And they're actually starting to work it a little bit. Alright, I got another stand set. It's probably about 23 feet up. Got a stick ladder going up it. Should be a pretty good spot. Where I'm located at right here is just outside of a thicket. Or about 25 yards outside of a thicket. I usually see a lot of deer skirting the edge of this, so I figured I'd go ahead and move my stand next to it. That was one cardiac workout that I didn't need. Alright y'all, this is July 23rd. Be the second day. We're going to go in the back here, finish up the sets that we started yesterday, put some ratchet straps on the tree stands, just a little bit of maintenance, and hopefully we should be good. Alright, here we are at the base of a tree where I hung a new set yesterday. It's got two stands, one for me and one for my cameraman. First tree stand, second tree stand, probably about 8 foot above it. So we're probably right about there, is about 20 feet. And it's pretty thick throughout this whole area, as you can see. Looking down that way, goes down to a little bowl and opens up to a thicket. Right here's the top of the ridge. The ridge runs along this direction. And on the other side of this ridge, there's a pretty good sized doe bedding area. So hopefully we're in a pretty good spot. Because right here along this ridge, the deer have been traveling up and down. They've been moving down this little bowl into the other thicket. They've also been moving back this way, where it opens up a little bit and flattens out, and there's an old logging road. Alright, that one's good. It's set. The one above it, you can see it's sitting in a Y. It's level, but I don't really like how it is. It's just really hard to get up to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it back down and strap it in below the Y. And then that way I should be a little bit more comfortable with it, and I should be a little bit more comfortable, and she should be more comfortable with climbing up into it. Let's go check the other stand and ratchet it in and make sure we got shooting lanes. Alright y'all, I just got done ratcheting in my tree stand. As you can see, I am just sweating my butt off. It's about as humid as a South American rainforest down here. And I'm only in East Tennessee. The tree stand I had set above mine for my daughter filming, I'm going to go ahead and lower it back down a couple feet. I'm not really comfortable where it's at, sitting in a Y. I'm going to lower it back down, ratchet it in, and then pretty much should be good with it. I feel a little bit more comfortable with her being in there and being able to film. I just don't like how it's sitting. It's even, but it's not really even. So lowering it back down, you know, you can't be too safe when it's your own kid. Love you, Shelby. Alright, as I'm walking out, I'm looking at this tree again with my tree stand in it. I'll zoom in. There's my stand. And up above it is her stand, and there's that Y. I don't really like how the straps are sitting, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and lower it down just a little bit. That way she's a little bit more comfortable, and I'll be a little bit more comfortable where she's at. And we got pretty good coverage. There's a thick brush all the way around us. I got pretty good backdrop, so we should pretty well be secured. Alright y'all, now I'm walking down to another tree stand set I have. Sorry, had to take a little bit of a water break. I got a tree stand set in that tree right there. And if you can see, there's a tree stand. I've actually loosened it up and it's just hanging there off the strap. It's been like that for a little while. I didn't want the tree to start growing and having any problems with it, so I come up here probably about a month ago, loosened it up, and that way I could drop it and remove the ladder that's going down the side of it. So let's go get busy. Alright, I'm walking down this little draw, this hill, down to my other stand, and got some pretty good news from the man that owns the property. I thought I'd seen turkey sign in here several times, but I wasn't really sure, never really heard any gobbles, hadn't really seen a whole lot of sign, and when I come back and talk to him back in May, he actually told me he's seen a really big tom and a hen with him. So I think that's really good. We should start seeing maybe some poults next year, and maybe some more turkey should start moving in, and maybe we can start bow hunting for turkey back here next year. Maybe kind of hard to see in this shot, but coming down this little hill right here below me, really, really good game trail that goes on out towards the thicket. And as I pan to my left, right there on that tree, I'll zoom in. There's my ladder stand and my tree stand. This hole back here, this area is a real big thicket. Alright y'all, I got my second stand ratcheted in. I'm pretty happy with it. We need to get hurrying up here because I got a storm rolling in. It's starting to thunder pretty good. It's been raining here pretty much all night for the last several days, so I don't want to be stuck out here in the rain. So let's get going. As you can see right here, I found a white acorn. I've had a pretty good crop back here this year. They're all over the ground. There's another one over here if I can find it in the viewfinder. There it is right there. There's one. There's one there. There's one there. This whole area, if I pan out, it's actually been pretty well chewed up by the deer. So I'm pretty happy with this. Got a lot of good hardwoods back here. A lot of good food source. I'm getting pretty excited about this year. I think this should be a really good year back here. We'll walk on up this way. There's another one. Really good source. Now, I have not seen any red acorns back here, and everybody should know white acorns are annual. Red acorns are biannual, every other year. Most of these white acorns should be pretty much gone by October, either rotted out or pretty well eaten up. And this is my buddy's stand. This is a stand that I brought my youngest girl, she's 5, brought her back in here bow hunting last year, and we lasted probably about 5 minutes, and she did really good. After about 5 minutes, she was ready to go. Actually, I need to correct that. I need to give her more credit than that. Actually, for being 5, she lasted an hour, not 5 minutes. I was really pretty happy with her. She did really good. Dressed her up in camouflage. She climbed up the ladder pretty good. And then she was ready to roll. Alright, checked all the straps on my buddy stand. Buddy stand is set, ready to go. Oh, and look what I found right there. This evidently fell out of my pack last year. I love this stuff. Buckbound doe pea. Normally when I walk into the woods, I usually spray it all over my rubber boots, my daughter's boots. Leaves a really good scent. I'll spray the camouflage on my tree stand with it. I'll spray everything with it just to make sure I cover up my scent. Alright guys, last but not least, we're going to go up here, check the trail cam I got. If we stop walking through cobwebs and spider webs. This is an old logging road that a couple years ago I got a really good footage of a nice size 8-point working a scrape up here. He was actually working that scrape on a Saturday and a Sunday about 9-10 o'clock in the morning on each day. I got a lot of really good footage of a bunch of does working a scrape with him. Never seen him after that in the daylight. He pretty much went nocturnal on me, and I found out about a year later he was killed probably about 1.5 miles behind me on another road, which was really sad. He was really pretty. I tried a little bit of experimenting with those scrapes with several different types of lure, and one thing that I found worked really good was just urinating in them. Believe it or not, it didn't scare everything away. Here's bug droppings I found. I think it was last week when I was back here. Right here under this tree, right in this area, there were two big scrapes. That's where those scrapes were at. They were probably about 5-6 foot in diameter and very active. I found several buck beds up here over the past several years, and the reason why I say they're buck beds is just from the size of them and being singular. Most of the beds that I find over in my doe bedding area have been 2 or 3 bedded together, which have been does. Alright, and here's our last project. Wild Game Innovations trail cam. We're going to check it and see what we got on it and switch out the SD card. Alright, we're basically done. I'm panning up another game trail right here going up the side of this ridge. This place is covered with trails. That's why it's really kind of hard to hunt a small area like this back here, because they could be pretty much anywhere. Really important to do a lot of scouting and a lot of trail cams. But you don't want to leave a lot of scent, and you got to be careful. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. We're going to go back to the house, process a lot of this footage. We're going to check out the trail cam pics, see what we got, see if there's anything worth really getting excited over. So y'all keep shooting, y'all have fun, be safe, and we'll see you next time on Bow Hunting Junkies. Thanks.